AFP Kim Won-jin. North Koreans wave banners and shout slogans at a state-organized anti-American rally in Pyongyang. Nuclear-armed North Korea announced a detailed plan Thursday to send a salvo of 4 missiles over Japan and towards the U.S. territory of Guam, raising the stakes in a standoff with President Donald Trump and mocking him as bereft of reason. The scheme to target the island, a key U.S. military stronghold, was intended to signal a crucial warning, as only absolute force would have an effect on the U.S. leader, the North said. The declaration came after Trump boasted on Twitter that America's nuclear arsenal was far stronger and more powerful than ever before. Earlier, Trump stunned the world with a bold message to leader Kim Jong-un that appeared to borrow from Pyongyang's own rhetorical arsenal, saying the North faced fire and fury like the world has never seen. The war of words over Pyongyang's nuclear and missile programs is raising fears of a miscalculation that could lead to catastrophic consequences on the Korean peninsula and beyond. Last month the North carried out 2 successful tests of an intercontinental ballistic missile, bringing much of the U.S. mainland within its range. The region was facing a mini-Cuban missile crisis, John Delury, professor at Seoul's Yonsei University, told AFP. Unusual detail. Trump's fire and fury remarks were a load of nonsense, said General Kim Rak-gom, the commander of the North's missile forces, according to Pyongyang's official Korean Central News Agency. Sound dialogue is not possible with such a guy bereft of reason, he added in a statement. The military would complete the Guam plan by mid-August and submit it to Kim Jong-un for consideration, he said. AFP Simon Malfatto. Guam, strategic U.S. territory under threat. The distinctively precise statement said the 4 missiles would be launched simultaneously and overfly the Japanese prefectures of Shiman, Hiroshima and Kochi. They would have a flight time of 17 minutes 45 seconds, travel 3,356.7 kilometers around 2,086 miles and come down 30 to 40 kilometers away from Guam, it said, which would put the impact points just outside U.S. territorial waters. Japan, which has in the past warned it would shoot down any North Korean missiles that threaten its territory, responded that it could never tolerate provocations from the reclusive state. The western Pacific island of Guam is home to U.S. strategic assets including long-range bombers and military jets and submarines, which are regularly deployed for shows of force in and near the Korean peninsula, to Pyongyang's fury. 2 supersonic U.S. bombers took off from the island on a flyover mission to Korea early this week. A file. Nicholas Camp. President Donald Trump spoke out on North Korea from his Bedminster Golf Club. Professor Yang Moo-jin of Seoul's University of North Korean Studies said the level of detail in Pyongyang's declaration was unusual. The North appears to be saying what it is going to do is within international laws, he told AFP. Therefore, it cannot be ruled out that the North may translate this plan into reality. Delury added, in a sense they're trying to ensure that the United States and South Korea, and Japan even, don't mistake this for a real attack. During the Cold War in the 1980s, the Soviet Union sent unarmed missiles to come down in the Pacific within 1,000 kilometers of Hawaii. Life and death analysts said a North Korean launch towards Guam would put the U.S. in a dilemma. If it did not attempt to intercept the missiles, its credibility would be damaged and the North would feel emboldened to carry out a full-range ICBM test. But if an intercept was attempted and any of the rockets got through, it would undermine the effectiveness of the United States ballistic missile defense. This is a coercive threat to halt B-1 flights, Adam Mount, senior fellow of the Center for American Progress, said on Twitter. Unlike Trump's vague, incendiary threat, DPRK's is coercive, clear, specific, and has credible escalation potential. Response is difficult. Tensions on the Korean peninsula tend to increase when Seoul and Washington launch major military joint exercises, and the next, Ulchi Freedom Guardian, is set to kick off around August 21. AFP Kim Won-jin. Thousands of North Koreans took part in the march through Pyongyang as authorities put on a show of support for their stance against the U.S. Pyongyang's interpretation of rhetoric from Washington is different from the way the West regards the North's habitual threats. It views such fiery rhetoric from Trump as a matter of life and death, said Hong Hyeonik, a senior researcher with the Sejong Institute. Thousands of North Koreans marched through central Pyongyang Wednesday, waving clenched fists, as authorities put on a show of support for their stance. One banner proclaimed 10 million hearts burn with vows to defend the fatherland until death. Amid reports that Trump's comments had taken his inner circle by surprise, State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert said the Trump administration was all on the same page. But Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said he did not believe there is any imminent threat to Guam or other U.S. targets, and expressed hope that diplomatic pressure would prevail in the crisis. The United Nations imposed a seventh set of sanctions on Pyongyang at the weekend that could cost North Korea $1 billion a year, with even the regime's main ally China voting for the U.S. drafted proposal.